members of the royal family, do they request certain foods, or is the food kind of decided for them throughout the week?
No, there is a menu book that goes up every week or every few days, to be cleared, and it gives an option of first courses, main courses and desserts, and they then have a selection of and there are foods that are known and liked, and of course when things come into season and things come off the estates, the venison and the grouse and the salmon and all that, and the pheasants come in from Sandringham, and that's when all these things are used.
But quite often, though, I remember in this recipe book, you call it a menu book, you know, Mervyn would sort of write out a week at a time, you know, suggestions for both the prince and the princess at that time. But very often, if I remember, because I remember the princess would very often come in and sit in the kitchen with you, Merv, and, you know, whatever you'd written down in the book, you'd knock it up in the kitchen and she would eat it, you know, astride the chest freezer or whatever. So it was quite an informal, you know, meeting, really. But I think that was the whole thing about the Kensington Palace, certainly from the mid-'80s onwards, because Diana, I always was of the opinion that was always what she was to tell me, but that she wanted the chef, the butler, the driver, to be part of this wider family. So, you know, to try, which was quite opposite what the Prince of Wales wanted at that time. But this was Diana's style. But I mean, you know, the actual food that Mervyn prepared, together with additional staff there, was generous in the sense that we as policemen and other members of the staff enjoyed very much, you know, the skill and the cooking that Mervyn and his staff would prepare. We were very lucky.
Oh, I see. So you got to eat some of the food.
Well, we did, yeah. I mean, you know, God, how lucky were we?
Well, one of the main things is His Royal Highness always insisted that the staff be well fed. It's an army marches on its stomach, and if you've got a happy staff, they've been well fed, they will go that extra mile and will go without sometimes.
So talk us through. You talk about simplistic food. As I say, in my mind, I thought it was, you know, this huge banquet on a table every night. But was it really that simplistic? I mean, what would happen then? They would have a menu card.
Yes.
You'd draw up a menu card,
yes.
And then they would choose what meal to have.
Yeah.
3 meals a day?
Yes.
What I do remember, actually, talking about food and so forth, that, and, you know, gifts were sort of sent up to the kitchen. I remember the King of Spain sending up boxes of oranges. But also, I just suddenly remembered, I think it was when, following Diana's visit to Pakistan, the then Benazir Bhutto sent over this special crate of
mangoes.
And I remember, Chef, you and others making, you know, literally buckets of fresh mango ice cream. You know, it's kind of like, but all these mangoes had come all the way from Pakistan as a gift from then Benazir Bhutto. But yeah, great times in the old kitchen there.
Yeah, but if we had gifts like that, it would always be written to the menu book that this was using so-and-so, so a gift of so-and-so, and the thank you letters would go out to these people to say, you know, send me more. Lovely.
Yeah. But one of your specials, Merv, if I'm correct, was the from the oranges from Spain, was your orange vodka.
And gin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Is that a favourite?
Oh, absolutely. And you should know all about that anyway.
Well, I'm not going to talk about it, but I think the Prince liked the orange vodka, doesn't he?
Yes, it used to go out hunting, and it is a very warming drink.
You didn't need many of them.
How would you come up with this orange vodka?
Oh no, His Royal Highness had found the recipe somewhere. As I said, he's very interested in his food and good things like that, and so he got the recipe from somewhere, some lady.
So during the time with Charles and Diana, that they would occasionally make special requests of...
Oh yes,
yeah.
Could I do this? Could I do? You know, and it's never a problem.
You talked about making food for guests. Did you make food for the dogs, or was it?
Yes, yeah,
Really?
yes. Oh God, yes. Got to feed the dogs.
Please tell us a little bit about that.
Oh well, no, it's just very simple. I must say, Her Majesty the Queen's dogs, they really were well looked after, but ours were a little more simplistic, and because we were always on the go, and Harvey, the Prince as he was then, his Labrador, he stayed actually in Norfolk most of the time. He didn't come to us, so we didn't have dogs very often there.
But the royal families are very well known for their animals, aren't they, Ken? With the Queen and her corgis and their love of horses. But I've never heard before that the royal chef would make the pets
Oh, absolutely.
their lunch? What happened? They would the animals wouldn't have menu cards. How
No,
would
no,
you
no,
come
no,
up with
no,
what
no.
to cook?
But there would be a list of what they liked. I mean, say some days there's rice and beef and all sorts of things. Just
But for
depends
the
how they
pets?
are. Yeah,
Really?
absolutely.
That's fascinating.
Yes.
Well, luckily, I mean, when I say luckily, they were the only two dogs that existed when I came were the
Oh, Tigger and Roo.
Tigger and Roo. But I mean, I don't recall them getting any special food.
No. It's just our place was Kensington and Highgrove were very much more simplistic. It was Her Majesty the Queen that was really looked after their dogs in that way. No, they never bit me. No, and I never really came into contact with them. They were kept well out of the way.
But you cooked for the corgis?
Yes, that's all right. Oh no, the food all goes a footman taking up, and it's all in a pantry. That was the old days, but things have all changed now.
We were very lucky from the police in the team, because Mervyn, if we were travelling back to London, say from Highgrove, one of his favourite sandwiches was the coronation
Oh,
chicken.
you used to like them.
And treacle tart was a great special of mine, Mervyn. I think
I know you like
you knocked
that.
up
I
that.
know.
And all the cottage pies, all the basic good
You
food
have to
stuff.
provide for all these people. It was.
Well, thank
fact-
you, Mervyn, and thank you for the then Prince of Wales as well.
The Royals were absolutely no problem. It was the policemen that were the nightmare.
We made you laugh, though. Thank you.
You enjoyed your food, though, by the sound of it.
Yeah, I did, absolutely.
Well, anybody else cooking, it's always wonderful.
Just one last question. What did the corgis have in there? What
Oh,
would be the best?
it just depended what they were. You know, some days it'd be rabbit, and other days it'd be beef, and another. You know, it's always something quite simple.
They didn't have the old sort of pet plan pellets then.
No, none of that.
No, there's marvellous, work in pet food now. I mean, the stuff that I buy for my cat, it's all the little pellets. It's all got science written all over it saying that it's all very good. But they had proper organic.
Oh,
they had proper.
They had proper stuff. They had cabbage and they had rice and. I used to try it out on the policemen just to see it, but they never knew.
Yes.
Was the food for the corgis and the animals, was that as the same or as good as the food that was cooked for the royal family?
Of course it was, absolutely. Of course you had to do the carrots for the horses and with Her Majesty and things like little packages. And
What I remember once, where the Prince and the King, as you know, was very peculiar about the sort of food that he wanted, well, his family and the staff to eat. As Mervyn rightly said, he believed that, the army marched on its stomach. And I know that's true. But as William got older, of course, and he was very keen to go to burger bars and pizza places that didn't really sit that comfortably with his father. And I remember coming back from the pizza place and the burger bar in Kensington High Street, which was with the Bill Wyman's place, the Rolling Stones.
Sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers. And William came back and the Prince was there. And he said, oh, where have you been? He said, oh, Papa, he said, we just had these amazing burgers. And he said, and there was this sort of look of disdain that came across the Prince's face. And he said, I don't know why you eat that food when I have this marvellous army of chefs at Kensington Palace. But, I think he probably now realises that's how it was in the late 80s, early 90s, that but Diana sort of really wanted to experiment away from Mervyn's food at the palace at that time.